Let's move on to our next entrepreneur and let's hope that they're very hardy. But before we do, let's see what's going on behind the scenes.
It's my first startup. I'm from a small town in the south of the Patagonia. When internet came specifically to my home, like I got hooked. I believe that was the moment when my journey started. I've spent hours trying to understand how the computer worked. I've discovered this very specific hobby, which was like ordering freebies and samples. So I said okay, maybe I write about this. That was the beginning of a blog that went viral in Argentina. I was 15 years old and I made that into a business. I was getting 3-4K checks at my mom's name, and I used to ask my mom to cash them, and she's like, I don't want to cash these checks. What are you doing online? And I was like, no, it's legit. It's like, I have this blog. I said, what is a blog? And I think that at the end, she just trusted me and said okay, let's cash these checks. That went on till I was 17, 18. I started offering my services, and that's when I discovered the cross-border freelancer world. It was very hard for me to cash that money or to make it available to spend it locally. It was not as hard as the beginning when I had to make my mom cash the checks, but it was still hard. And I made my own tricks, around it, how to move the money. That's when I think that everything that then became Takeno started. Beginning of 2021 and the pandemic, I had a lot of friends asking me how do you get your money out of here? You work in fintech. So I pitched the company where I was working in. We should build something around this product, this segment. And I was like, yeah, it's not our focus. It's we do other kind of products. I was like, okay. I just quit and build it on my own.
Your mom, who was cashing those checks, how did she feel?
You're making a lot of money. You could buy your home being very young. Yeah, I could, but I want to do this. I mean, she was always supportive. She sees me very happy with building what I built. I was a kid and I used to watch Friends. So it's oh, this is a place somewhere else, very, very far. It's kind of watching something from the movies, but in real life. So the first time I came with my family. So I was 15 years old. It was a great experience coming from the small city in the south of Patagonia to one of the biggest cities in the world. It was shocking, but amazing. It's pretty inspiring being in one of the world's most important financial districts. All the movements, all the people gets in your energy. What I love about New York is the artistic scene, and I love the Soho scene, visiting stores, Brooklyn, and see the murals on the street. It's that. Those are the things that I enjoy the most. 2 years ago, with one of my co-founders and my best friend, we made our burgers tour in New York. It's pretty fun when I come here. I always remember that trip, and it really brings me great memories. Yeah, I'm more one-on-one meeting kind of person, which is not kind of my thing, but I practice a lot. I was very excited. Well, hello everyone, I'm Lucas Posada. I'm the founder and CEO of Takenos, a financial app for cross-border workers, freelancers, and contractors. You can open an account and access virtual account in the US and Europe and get instant access to payments or cash or even stablecoin.
Wait, so who's paying whom?
Yeah, from Europe, the US, the rest of the world.
And they're paying people in Latin America?
And they are paying people in Latin America.
Are they using Bitcoin? What are they using?
I love that he's pretty fun. He's heard so many pitches in his life. He's been around forever. So I think he knows how to make you feel comfortable. They start with fiat, on-ramp that into stablecoin, and that's the way we disperse it.
And then from stablecoin back to the other fiat?
Yeah, so we have a 50% of them that use the stablecoin.
Oh, they just keep it?
They just keep the stablecoin and send it to different wallets.
You've got so much competition.
Yeah.
Why you?
I don't fully agree. I think there is value around brands. We are the only app that today is reaching about 10K monthly active users, and we did it bootstrapping it. It's very common for the fintech industry to be very well funded. We didn't took that path. In our 4th, 5th month, we were generating profits, and now thank you very much. Now, so looking around, you really feel that you are in this place where everything is being built.
Yeah, so why raise money? You got it.
There are about 15 million people in the region that are working, that at least once a year they're working for another country or someone in another region. We want to take like around 6-7% of that market to reach a $1 billion in revenues company. We need a little bit of boost to capture different markets, to launch new products.
Love to learn your monetization strategy. Or is it fees? Is it subscription? Or
the user gets to deposit for free, but then we charge different fees depending on the products that you're using to withdraw the funds, to take the funds out of the system. We also work with a yield system. It's very segmented, but it's like we try to be competitive on every one of them.
So is the competition based on price, or is it based on something else?
There are some competition in price, like in the financial ecosystem. The community today is eager for the kind of products we are building. That's one of the key aspects of what makes Takenos. But I don't see that going deep into the future. We are creating like a brand that people love, and we are like reaching new segments that are a little bit far of the traditional developer or designer. We work with therapists, we work with teachers, and even like fortune tellers. That there is this Chinese saying that water is fortune, is wealth. So I kind of took that message from nature. In that way, like the people like appreciate how the brand reaches them.
So the brand is the main unique differentiator. Like, what is the particular problem that you're solving for a therapist? I mean, there's even companies that are now starting to verticalize their wallets and payment systems for very specific people. Like, how do you?
So if you take the example of Fiverr or freelancer.com, yes, they verticalize, but you have like more than 400 platforms in Latin America that are reaching the different kind of segments. So it's getting hyper segmented, and they don't want to invest or like develop the financial infrastructure. So what happens at the end is they ended up working with PayPal or Payoneer, whose infrastructure is like not really built for this use case. So at the end, like they get a pretty bad user experience.
Exactly. Why would they upload the money to your wallet?
Basically, there are like 3 big issues around the cross-border transaction, and these issues come for like small amount transactions. So they are slow. They take from 3 to 5 business days. They are very expensive. We're talking from 5 to 10% on fees. And it's also hyper segmented. So it's like you have to go from one step to the other. So you start in like an international wallet, but then you have to go like an intermediary, a peer-to-peer, an exchange, a local player. We solve all of that in order for the user to have the experience of someone using like Venmo locally.
Terrific. Lucas, thanks for being on Meet the Draper.
That's exciting. The question helped a lot. Really like puts you in a conversation. I'm very proud of like building something that is actually valuable and it's useful in the market.
I actually think he's on to something. The problem that he's going after is a real problem. We actually have a company that is partnered with TikTok to do the disbursements in Colombia. It ends up being really expensive for both the freelancer and then for the platform. If you could actually create something that's regional, you could create something really big, which is tough to do.
And it was interesting, it seemed like he was leaning into the social components, creating a brand of something that's not traditionally, glorified and gamified, but still kind of struggling with his competitive angle, especially in that marketplace. And if the pricing's the same, what would be the advantage?
How does he get through the red tape? Because it's individuals?
He turns the money from US dollars to cryptocurrency, to local currency, but so do a million other companies. He'd have to get a bunch of big companies to all agree before it really got super big. And he built it from scratch, so that's pretty cool. The time has come to consult with a crystal ball.